Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the Slightly Above Average Ship Review. Got another early access British Battlecruiser for you, going up the Battlecruiser line. Although this may be the last one because I don't have the next ship yet in early access. That's the Hawk. This is the Rooke. We are on Sleeping Giant. It is a domination match. Nothing is more English than adding an E that is utterly unnecessary to the end of a word. So the Rooke has an extra E, the Hawk has an extra E. I'm sure there are other English words with an extra E that doesn't really need them. We're moving out here over on the open side of the map. And so we're just going to try to get into a good position behind this island where we can do a little shelling of the enemy ships without taking a whole lot of fire in return. And if you are in a lightly armored battleship, not that I'm a master of positioning or anything like that, but this is one of the better places to be at on the map. As we cruise to a stop there, let's talk about the Rooke. It never actually existed other than on paper. It was a J3, Juliet 3 battlecruiser. Design study conducted by the Royal Navy during 1921 Fleet Modernization Program, a follow-up to the Admiral-class battlecruiser, which also wasn't built. Incorporated the lessons learned from the Battle of Jutland and World War I. Heavier and improved armoring scheme, although I'm going to say it's not really that greatly armored. Canceled due to the signing of the Washington Naval Treaty, which limited the size and the armament of the proposed ships. General characteristics: overall length 860 feet, displacing 43,100 long tons. I'm sure I'm shooting during the game right now. I'm not looking at it. Blah, blah, blah. 9 15-inch guns and 3 triple turrets. Alpha Bravo in the front, the Zulu turret in the rear. All right, well, there's our first damage right there. So my teammate in the destroyer is doing a good thing. He's spotting the enemy destroyer. Meanwhile, for our part, we've got some targets to shoot at out here, and I am going to try to size up the Renown, my younger brother, and see if I can damage him. I kind of like these battle cruisers. I think they're very fun to play, provided, of course, that you're not being focus fired by multiple ships. They're quick, and what I mean by that is they're technically what I would call a fast battleship, greater than 30 knots in the water. The torpedo's a little wonky to line up, so I wouldn't necessarily count on them. As you've seen in our other videos, they also have a very long arming time or a dead window where they're not any good. But they've got good guns, they've got good speed, and you do have the capacity to defend yourself with your AA, although again, as we saw in the other videos, limited to pretty much right around your ship. You are not going to be an AA master of your domain like the California or anything like that. All right, going back to the Renown, we were popping shots at some other ships. I did do a little landscaping on this island. Really iffy spotting right here, so we're going to go for the West Virginia, and that is going to be a recurring theme throughout this game. West Virginia's got those big 16-inch guns, but it doesn't have a great armor scheme, not at that angle, and so we do a fair amount of damage there. And as you can see, because our positioning and the angle of the incoming fire, we're able to mitigate a lot of the incoming damage by our positioning. All right, going after the Weavy again, we're moving forward a little bit, get some different blocking characteristics on different parts of the island. Some more good hits on the West Virginia. We're over 40,000 damage. And he is just staying put, so I am just going to stay kind of put in my little area here and continue to farm damage there. Would really love it. My teammates, except for the destroyer up here, pretty much abandoned me over on this side of the flank. And to be honest with you, I really didn't have any idea until the end of the game how good I was doing in this match, because I was really worried about getting flanked. And I've had a ton of games lately where my team utterly abandons the flank and leaves me there. And sometimes I don't notice that right away, which is not good. But that didn't happen in this match. I kind of knew they were hanging me out to dry. And, I'm used to that. And you should be used to it too, unfortunately. All right, here maybe didn't account for the speeding up of the King George enough. Here's a really disappointing salvo. I thought I lined it up and led him properly. And, I mean, okay, 4 pence, that was cool. Maybe about 17,000 damage, thereabouts, or 15,000. But then when we get a reload here, he's not aiming at me. He started to turn away just a little bit, and you can see that these guns are going to falter here and not really do a ton of damage. Very disappointing, so keep that in mind. Non-advantageous angle. We do take some damage there. But this salvo there really didn't do a whole lot. Kind of disappointing. All right. I think that's the renown up in front of us. Still got the West Virginia over here. I believe he's still giving us a pretty good angle. Not so much there. But you know what? He's been pretty much my go-to when I need damage. So we will send another salvo his way. And then we're going to engage our speed boost to retract our nose from out front there. You can see we did do pretty good damage. By backing up, we dodged some shells. Going to fix my secondaries. I think that's a Jervis. And we do take some fire from the Renown, but I'm not really too worried about it. Can't get a shot at the Laga. The King George is finished off, so at least I don't have that to worry about. So again, just the ships in front of us. Anytime you can isolate the enemy just to one side of your ship, I mean, in this case, it's pretty much from the bow to 3 o'clock, I guess you could say. That's where 90% of my enemies are. Really allows me, don't have to turn my turrets around, don't have to worry about being shot from both sides of the ship here by backing up. We dodge torpedoes. I'm going to let the destroyer shoot at me. I'm not really worried about him. We're going to shoot into the ether where the West Virginia used to be. And a bulk of my enemies are in this 1 to 2 to 3 o'clock area. And that's really so advantageous, especially in a ship like this with a lot of relatively good gun power, but maybe not great armor. And you don't want to go out in front and get outnumbered if you can help that. All right, the Jervis is going to get taken out by my teammate. I really appreciated that. Good job to him. Here we've got a New Mexico who's gotten awfully close. I don't want to open myself up to any kind of broadside here. So we're going to turn in. The West Virginia is still alive, by the way. Here we're going to go into the bow plate. Pretty good hit there. Disable one of his turrets. I think he is sporting the unique New Mexico camo. Gotta say, I really like that camo. There's the high caliber metal. And we are going to turn to get some torpedoes off. For some reason, my torpedo gunners or aimers were more concerned about a ship away in the distance. So torpedoes couldn't hit. All right, torpedoes out. Going to go back into this bow plating under the turret, maybe. Oh, internet, slow down. Folks, I got to tell you, if you're wondering why I'm only putting out 2 videos a week right now, it's because of stuff like that. We finish off to New Mexico. My internet connection sucks and blows. And so, quite frankly, I can't get the games I want to get that I'm capable of with great frequency right now due to my really poor internet. And I have no idea when that's going to change. Here, again, a little choppy internet. We did shoot at the Renown. I'm going to turn in on the Renown and see if we can maybe make myself a smaller target. I don't know if he's shooting torpedoes or not. As you can see, they're way in the back of the ship. You got to turn all the way around. If you're used to Japanese cruisers, You'll be used to these torpedo angles. All right, we'll throw a couple of torpedoes out there. They are doing their turning thing. I don't understand how that works. Not really. I think if you maneuver while they're in the arming zone, they will follow your commands. Here we're going to go at the bow plate of Renown. Unfortunately for me, he's able to dodge the first torpedo, and he's able to dodge the second torpedo. All right, we're still turning. I probably should have turned back, but I'm thinking about using my other torpedoes. Think like a cruiser when you're at these kind of ranges. For his part, he's actually playing this pretty well. He's going to turn back in. Although, unfortunately for him, the piranhas showed up. The little destroyers are coming in, and they've got way more torpedoes than I do. We'll go up into the superstructure for a little bit more damage before he is wiped out. And that ends the match. All right, so I put this in for a damage record on WoW's builds. High caliber metal, 167,512 total damage. I think we had 151,000 in the Tiger. Definitely very capable of getting that damage. And a lot of that was from farming the West Virginia, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. All right, we ended up with 292,404 silver, over 7,300 ship XP, over 7,600 commander XP. Just one kill, but plenty of damage there in the Rooke. Also got a couple of torpedo strikes on that New Mexico. Here we are on the top of the board. One medal, one big kill, 23.99. Does not meet the threshold for a GG, but I will take it. Good game to the Shiratsuyu, who also had very similar numbers to me. And you can see the West Virginia was the best ship on their team. So I'm really not too broken up that we took him out. Here in the port, we're in early access. Here are the upgrades. Aiming System Mod 1. I went with Damage Con Mod 2. I know you can make an argument for steering gears because it's a battlecruiser. That is up to you. I prefer damage control on battleships. Also went with Concealment Systems Mod 1. And we are fully upgraded, but not totally there. As I said earlier, don't have the Hawk. Don't know if I'll be able to get that before the end of early access. All right, 3 charges of the repair party, 2 charges of the engine boost, and 2 charges of DFAA. I recommend the DFAA. Enhanced secondary targeting. The Rooke does have a lot of secondaries, but in theory, you're not going to want to be fighting that close to the enemy ship, so I would default to the DFAA. We were running the Epic Ship XP booster, got the temporary Type 3 camo, the standard permanent camouflage not available, and the 2-year strong flag. All right, looking at the specs, 59,200 hit points and a 13% torpedo damage reduction with our build. Got those 3 triple 381mm turrets, 17.8 kilometer firing range, 29.3 second reload, 25-second turret traverse. Hat tip, Vaz Vegas, they have really good turret traverse on these ships. And I did mention it earlier, HE shells 5350 max damage with a 34% fire chance. AP shells 11,400 max damage. 2 sets of secondaries, range of both is 5.2 kilometers. First set of 6x2 114s. Reloads every 5 seconds, 1,700 max HE shell damage with an 8% fire chance. Second set of 8x2 152s, reloads every 12 seconds, 2,150 HE shell max damage with a 9% fire chance. So you do have a lot of secondaries. The reload on that second set, not that great. Torpedoes, you got 2 individual launchers on each side, 95-second reload. Max damage 15,867, 8-kilometer range, 61 knots. The detectability is 1,300 meters. AA defense, you've got a lot of AA. Don't be fooled. If you look closely, all 2.5 kilometers in, except for your dual-purpose 114mm secondaries. In terms of defending yourself, this is good. In terms of providing air cover for other nearby ships, this is not good. This is no California. All right. Maneuverability 31.9 knots. Over 30 knots, I consider it a fast battleship. Turning circle, that's not very good. 950 meters, 15-second rudder shift time. Concealment, 12.3 on the surface, 10.2 from the air, 12.9 when firing from smoke. Here in the stats, I have played 18 matches in the Rooke, and I have a winning record. Main battery accuracy, terrible. Torpedo accuracy for a battleship, not that bad. We do have a 1.0 kill-death ratio. Most kills in one match, 3. I think this game you just saw was our best max damage and max XP game. All in all, I like the Battlecruiser line here. I like the Rooke and the Tiger a lot. Tier 5, Renown, didn't have some great games in that. So 4 and 6 so far are my highlights in this line. All right, armor, not good. Below water citadel, that is good. Lightly armored from the top. Turrets and barbettes, pitiful turret and barbette armor. Backs of the turrets are heavily armored, but the rest of these are terrible. These will get knocked out and destroyed. It's happened to me. Putting the bow back on, 16 millimeter bow. There's some heavy plating. Don't be fooled by that. That's a little plate right there, kind of angled for the barbettes on the front and rear. So don't count that to do anything for you. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Torpedo belts. Goes up the side of the ship. We'll put the casemate armor back on. You do have an armor belt in the casemate up to 305 millimeters. I was hoping for some spaced armor effect here. I don't really think there is any. But at the waterline there, that armor belt should help you out a little bit. All right, so that is the armor profile of the Rooke. Here's our temporary commander, Andrew Cunningham, until we can get Baron Fisher, Lord John Arbuthnot Fisher, whatever his name is. The Fisher guy, the guy we're earning right now. We got A.L. Scharnhorst and Paolo di Ravel, standard long-range battleship build. It works for these ships until you get Fisher unlocked. Anyway, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video, everybody.